Welcome, and thank you for your interest in the Creighton University Doctor of Occupational Therapy program and the Creighton Regis pathway. My name is Amy Mayer, and I am part of the faculty at Creighton University and also serve as the Creighton Regis pathway coordinator. In this short presentation, we'll talk about how Creighton and Regis are collaborating to educate future occupational therapists, what is the rationale for the Creighton Regis pathway, and what specifically is the role of the Adjunct lab instructor in the pathway. As many of you know, Creighton educates both entry-level students as well as post-professional students. In 1985, we established our campus pathway. It's a very traditional model of occupational therapy education. In 2008, we began our Alaska pathway, which is a collaboration with UAA in Anchorage, Alaska. After the success of that pathway, we also added our Greater Omaha pathway, where our students are in the Omaha area and come to campus for labs. And we're now in 2015 beginning the Creighton Regis collaboration. In the Regis pathway, we anticipate 18 to 20 students per class. These students can be from anywhere in the United States. Once the program begins, they must reside in the Denver area. They will have their welcome week on Regis campus. The students will have their lecture classes online. Those are recorded by the instructor of record in Omaha and placed online for all the distance students to view asynchronously. Their tests are proctored via an online proctoring service, which means they can actually take their exams anywhere, including at home. The lab classes will be taught on Regis campus or in the community. They're primarily taught in the late afternoon or evening, and this is because many of our adjunct instructors are part-time or full-time occupational therapists. They will be taught by faculty that have expertise in the subject matter of the course. The Regis students will have the same fieldwork and professional rotation expectations of all our students. They will go through the same placement process as the campus and other distance students. They can be completed anywhere at a contracted site across the country or the world. ACOT's definition of distance education describes our process very accurately. There's one curriculum with some or all of the students receiving the didactic portion of the program taught via distance education from the primary campus. The didactic portion of the program is delivered to all students by the same instructors. Students may receive the experiential and lab components at either primary campus or at other campus locations. Some of the rationale for the Creighton Regis pathway is there's a trend in distance education. Our successful model of distance education has proven to be successful. We've graduated three different groups of Alaska students who are all practicing in the community in Alaska. There's been an increased demand for doctorate level occupational therapy education. And there's, of course, a workforce shortage, and in particular in the Rocky Mountain region. Many of us know that the U.S. Department of Labor is predicting a significant increase in demand for occupational therapy services. A little bit about the teaching roles in our programs. There is the instructor of record. The instructor of record is typically one of the faculty here in Omaha, and they're responsible for designing each course. This includes the lecture and the lab content. We also have lab assistants. These lab assistants work with the instructor of record on campus to deliver the lab content. ACOT suggests that we have a certain number of instructors in the lab, depending on the number of students that are in each lab. And the number of students that we have on lab requires us to have a lab assistant. We also use teaching assistants. They assist the IOR with managing course content. This can be organizing the learning management system, course site, or all the way through helping to grade assignments. And then we have the adjunct lab instructors. The adjunct lab instructor manages and teaches the lab component of the assigned course in the distance pathways. We also have program coordinators. We will have a coordinator on the Regis campus, and then we also have my role, which is the coordinator of the program between the Regis and the Creighton campus. The experience that we're looking for with becoming an adjunct lab instructor is any level 1 or level 2 clinical teaching is most definitely a plus, and we're also looking for expertise in the area of the course that is taught. Training will be provided to you and prepare you for the adjunct teaching role. This is actually required if you do choose to accept a position. This will be partially in person and partially online, and our adjuncts are issued a Creighton University laptop. The instructor of record is responsible for choosing the lab content and designing the activities. This is intended to create a parallel experience between all cohorts, but we do expect that our lab adjuncts will bring their personal expertise and their personal experiences to share with the students. Some of the practical aspects of the position are the hours. The labs are either 2 or 3 hours, depending on whether you are lab adjuncting for a 3-credit course or a 4-credit course. Then we also have summer courses which are compressed into more intense labs. You would be required to help with lab setup and cleanup as needed, and this may take up to an hour, depending on the complexity or the design of the lab. Lab preparation. This might include viewing the IOR's online lectures, reviewing lab requirements, and reviewing readings, which could take anywhere between 2 or 3 hours. And then grading. Grading, of course, ebbs and flows over the semester, depending on what assignments are due at what time. A note about vacation or time off. It is preferred that you do not schedule vacation during your lab times. However, there is some flexibility with emergencies, of course. The adjunct employment start date is generally 4 to 6 weeks prior to the start of the semester and ends approximately 1 week after the end of the semester. The position is a salaried position. Lab times are generally in the late afternoon, and the IOR will work with the adjunct and the Regis coordinator to determine a day and time of the lab. Other responsibilities include reviewing the course website, content, the lab activities prior to the scheduled lab. This might include viewing lecture captures, reviewing course readings, tracking attendance of the students at lab, engaging in lab preparation, setup, cleanup, evaluating the face-to-face participation of the students in lab activities. This includes providing instruction and formative feedback to the students. Other responsibilities include attending and assisting in any course-required off-campus site visits and providing student supervision, assessing student performance and practicums and providing timely feedback to the students and to the IOR, assisting with grading and providing student feedback in collaboration with the IOR, providing the IOR with feedback on student performance and experiential learning activities. We ask that you use a Creighton University email, which would be provided to you if you don't currently have one, for all your communication. This provides consistency across the instructors and the students. We ask that you do check this periodically during the week for any communication between the IOR and the students. Students will often email the adjunct instructor as well as the IOR for assistance with class preparation. Responding to the IOR and Creighton University staff in a timely and consistent fashion, reporting any student issues to the IOR in a timely fashion, and attending end of the semester review and debriefing session, and assisting with the instructor of record with development of lab activities or exam questions as needed. This is a quick look at the current curriculum for the entry-level occupational therapy students, and you can see in green the courses that have a lab. In the first semester, we'll tend to hire our instructor of record at least 1 to 2 semesters ahead of the semester that you would actually be working. This allows us to prepare our schedules appropriately. So please take a look at the curriculum and see what courses that you might particularly be interested in. If you're interested in further description of each one of the courses, you can go to the link here on our Office of Academic and Student Affairs website and see the course descriptions. As I mentioned, the adjuncts are typically interviewed and hired 1 to 2 semesters prior to the semester they will teach. The interviews will take place over the phone with the coordinator and the instructor of record of the course at Creighton. If offered the position, the adjunct needs to submit to the OT department's administrative support staff the following paperwork to ensure that the hiring process goes smoothly. There's an application form, your resume or CV, copies of licensure in the state that you'll be teaching, and transcripts from all the institutions you attended. The deadline for receipts are as follows, depending on the semester that you will actually be adjuncting for, and then the start dates are included. If you're interested in applying or would like additional information, please feel free to contact me. I would be happy to answer your questions, and thank you for your interest again in our program.